Tonight brings actual football back to Acrisure Stadium. Today brings more Brandon Aiyuk talk. Good morning to you. Good Friday morning. Don't go tuning out. I'll try to make it worth your while. Good Friday morning. I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports. This is Daily Shot of Aiyuk. It comes your way bright and early every weekday morning. If you're into hockey and or baseball, I also offer daily shots of Penguins and Pirates in the same place that you found this. Steelers versus Texans with a 7:02 p.m. kickoff right here in the world's most beautiful urban landscape. And until that kickoff, I can guarantee that it's going to be a day just like every other day's been of late for those who love this franchise. And that means refresh. The latest on Aiyuk is that the Steelers and the 49ers continue to be in communication with each other. They were throughout the day yesterday. And that the Steelers have made their stance known that they don't want to give up a player off the roster. And within that, the reason they don't want to give up a player off the roster is that the player that San Francisco obviously would want back would be a wide receiver. And out of the Steelers' group of wide receivers, currently there's only one who'd even come up in a discussion of this scope, and that, of course, would be George Pickens. So if you trade Pickens for Aiyuk, what are you doing? The whole goal here is to get somebody to augment Pickens, is to get a second wide receiver, even if he's not second on the depth chart. You need to have two of them, or at least you'd certainly like to have two of them that you can count on as reliable targets. So if it's about giving up George, then it's not even something that you want to talk about. So from there came additional word, and most of this is emanating from the 49ers side. They're the ones that seem to have the vested interest in getting this information out because it gets more interest, more suitors, etc., is that a third team could come involved in it because a third team might have a kind of wide receiver that the 49ers would like. They function as a bit of a middleman. The Steelers give up their draft picks. The third team gives up the wide receiver, and the 49ers give up Aiyuk to the Steelers, provided there's a contract in place. Which, by the way, is the reason that I will literally laugh out loud anytime anybody anywhere suggests, what's taking this so long? I can't believe it would be moving this quickly. There's a lot of gears turning here. A lot of different fingers in the same pie, and that's before the player's involvement with his new team. So here's where I am with this, and I've been consistent on this. I have felt for 3 weeks since we reported at DK Pittsburgh Sports that the Steelers themselves were confident that they were going to get one of 3 targets. They were going to wait him out. They were going to do what they had to. They were going to see which one fit the best. But they were feeling really good that they would get either Aiyuk or DK Metcalf, or, and this was the one that surprised us in addition to the people who saw our report, Tyreek Hill. But now that this specific situation has apparently advanced the way that it has, and now that the 49ers really have, and I'm going to guess this was unwilling, let everyone know of their grand position of weakness here, they have to get something done. The Steelers don't. And because Aiyuk has to have some level of approval on this. He really does. No one's going to trade for him without there being an extension. No one. The Niners' position is borderline hiding under the desk. It doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter what they leak out. It doesn't matter what Kyle Shanahan had to say to reporters yesterday when he said that, we're just looking for fair value, whether it's in terms of future or current players or whatever it is, we're looking for fair value. When your head coach is speaking right out there in front of everybody about a star wide receiver who's not in your fold, because he's not in camp, Aiyuk isn't, they know it's over there. They know there's not going to be some Deebo Samuel-like last-second resolution. This is not the same setting. It's just not. Aiyuk really wants out, and he only wants to go one place. And also, and I don't think this part is being discussed nearly as much, the Steelers want him. Okay? Don't let Omar Khan playing hardball fool you into thinking, I could live with it. They want him. They want him. Khan wants him. Mike Tomlin wants him. I can promise you Art Rooney would want him. And almost always in these types of circumstances, the deal gets done. That's been my experience in covering professional sports for 3 decades. When you see that much want to and that much commonality on 2 sides, let alone 3, especially when one of those 3 really doesn't have much of a choice, that's, I don't want to say it's done because that would be ridiculous, not to mention incorrect. But I'm honestly having a hard time right now seeing how it doesn't get done. When we come back, J1Q. Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George. LGKG is a personal injury law firm in Western Pennsylvania that represents people hurt in car accidents or who need help with workers' comp or medical malpractice. When the attorneys at LGKG make you a promise, they keep it. They've been keeping promises in our region for over 80 years. LGKG's been AV rated, the highest rating a law firm can receive, and they've been designated super lawyers. That's actually a thing for over 15 years. It's a rare combination. LGKG has offices in Cranberry, Newcastle, Beaver Falls, Butler, and Elwood City. Learn more about them by visiting lgkg.com or by calling 888-842-5454. LGKG. Today's J1Q comes from Chris, who says, DK, the Steelers don't even know if either of their quarterbacks is going to be able to perform at a winning/playoff level. So why do they think Brandon Aiyuk is some kind of solution to something? He might be in part, but he also could be just a product of his environment with the 49ers. I'm not going to disagree with the first part of that, Chris. I'm just not. I keep saying that the single biggest issue facing this football team entering this season is the quarterback position. And there's not anything that I could see in Latrobe. There's not anything I could see tonight or in the other 2 preseason games where I would say, oh yeah, okay, they're good, For anybody who doesn't know, Russell Wilson's not playing tonight. Justin Fields is only going to be out there for a series or 2. That's according to Mike Tomlin. I don't anticipate any deviation from that. So what you're going to see is a whole lot of 3 and a whole lot of 4. So from there, that leaves you 1 preseason game in which to actually play some guys just a little bit. And maybe if you choose to, and Tomlin did last year, this was in Atlanta, utilize his first team a bit in the third and final exhibition. You get to see a little bit more, but nobody's changing anybody's minds over that. As I've been telling you guys for, I'm trying to think when I first got this information, it was about 8 or 9 days ago. There is no competition. Wilson's starting in Atlanta, meaning the regular season opener this year in Atlanta. Wilson's the starter. He's not pole position he's starting. That doesn't mean he's going to stay the starter. Doesn't mean he won't get hurt. Doesn't mean he won't be terrible and get replaced. But he is starting this season against the Falcons and for the foreseeable future after that. I know the quarterback competition thing is fun, and I would have had fun with it too if it was real. It's not. It's not. I'm just shooting straight with you here as to what I've heard. But even from there, you don't know what Wilson you're going to get at age 36 in this offense. And that includes, by the way, as you brought up yourself, if Aiyuk is here, that certainly help things, but it won't in and of itself improve actual quarterback play. And we can all rave, and I've done it myself, about the way Fields has looked in camp. He's executing, but he's also executing when they're not allowed to touch him. They're not allowed to authentically flush him from the pocket. I have shared with you guys that he's staying back there for 7, 8, 9 seconds. Wilson's doing the same thing. And then they're letting it fly, and then somebody's downfield, and they catch it, and all 5,000 people on the hillsides and in the bleachers are cheering, woohoo, yay! And it doesn't cross anybody's mind that that quarterback would have been pulverized 10 times over if it had been even a preseason game. So what we know about the quarterback situation is this. Wilson's the starter. He's going to be the starter. The end. That's it. That's it. That is the extent of the knowledge that's been accumulated so far. Totally with you on this. And I can promise you, when we get to the eve of the game in Atlanta, and I'm in a hotel down there and writing up my preview, no matter what happens between now and then, that's going to be on top of my list. I appreciate the question. I appreciate everybody listening to Daily Shot of Steelers. Enjoy the game, especially those of you who are getting over there to take a look yourself. Actual football in the Big Mustard Bowl. Let's enjoy it.